मूर्तये नमः। प्रणम्य रामाभिधमात्मधीपदम् जगत्प्रसूतिस्थितिसंयमायनम् तदात्मकान् शङ्करपूर्वकान् गुरून् मयोपदेशार्थविभाग उच्यते। The passage number 90. शिष्यः अतिप्रसंगं शङ्कते. If there is no waking and no dream in the deep sleep state, and therefore they are either negated or they are destroyed, lost, looks like there is no consciousness also in deep sleep state. So the criterion because of which you say there is no waking and dream in the deep sleep state, and whether agantuka, they are incidental, adventitious, and therefore not the nature of self. So the deep sleep state, even the consciousness also is not experienced. Dृष्टि, Shruti, Mati, Vijnana, Lakshana hi jaswapna jagarite. The waking and dream states are characterized by seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing, and they are not available, not experienced in the deep sleep state. Therefore, it is clear that there is no waking and dream states in the deep sleep state. The chaitanyameva sushupto nasti. Then drishtyaadimat chaitanyameva. Seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing is what we experience in the waking, and the thinking, knowing, seeing, hearing are the attributes of a conscious being. So if thinking is not there, thinker also is not there, knowing is not there, knower also is not there, seeing is not there, seer also is not there. So seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing is waking dream, they are not there. Then thinker, hearer, seer, knower is the self, and he is also not there. Deep sleep state. Therefore, tada chaitanyeva sushupto nasti. Therefore, one conclusion is that there is no consciousness in the deep sleep. Atma agantuka chaitanya, or that Atma is conscious in waking and dream and unconscious in deep sleep state. Either we will say that Atma is an non-conscious because there is no conscious being in deep sleep state. Or you can say that Atma is conscious in waking and dream state and not in the deep sleep state, and therefore the consciousness in Atma also is agantuka, is coming and going, adventitious. सुषुप्ते दृष्ट्यादि रूपस्य चैतन्यस्य अदर्शनात् जागृतदर्शनात् आगंतुकमेव चैतन्यम पर्यालोचयामि. Same thing. Then in Sushupti, that Drishti, Shruti, Mati, etc. are not there. And therefore, in the waking dream that is there, therefore, looks to me like the consciousness in a deep sleep state also is incidental. So the question is, Kim nirupadika chit swarupam eva agantukam pashyasi kim va sopadikam? What do you mean by consciousness? By consciousness, do you mean unqualified consciousness? Which of course cannot be seen or heard or thought or known in the conventional sense. So, that you do not see and do not hear consciousness, is it with reference to unqualified consciousness or the qualified consciousness such as drashta, like seer, hearer, thinker? And suddenly there is no hearer and thinker and knower and seer in the deep sleep state. But the thinking, hearing, seeing, knowing is not absent. Yadvaitanna pashyati, pashyanvaitanna pashyati. That one does not see. This question is there is no seeing taking place, no thinking taking place, no hearing taking place in deep sleep state. How do you say? How do you say there is no seeing and hearing and thinking? There is no seer, hearer, and thinker. It's true. That is because there is no seen, heard, thought. This experience called the seeing can take place if three elements are involved: the seer, the seen, and the seeing. If these three are there, then you know that seeing takes place. But even when those three are not there, you cannot say seeing does not take place. You are accustomed to conclude that seeing takes place only when there is this duality of these seer, seen, and seeing. But even when the duality is not, that the seeing does take place. Pashyan vedanna pashyati, seeing it is not seen deep sleep state because natata dvitiyamasti tadanyat vibhaktam yat pashyed. What we call the seen is not there. And therefore, the seer is not there. That doesn't mean seeing is not there. So consciousness, which is primarily what we call the seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing, because it is consciousness, because I see and ear seer. So even if the specific knowledge or Vishesha Jnanam called hearing, thinking is not there, the Samanya Jnanam, the Nirvishesha Jnanam, unqualified knowledge is very much there, even in deep sleep state also. Then how is it that you do not know it? न दृष्टे द्रष्टारम पश्ये. It is not possible for you to see the illuminator of the seeing, illuminator of the hearing, illuminator of so seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing in the conventional sense doesn't take place. But that because of whom the seeing, hearing, thinking takes place. So right now talking takes place. In deep sleep state, the talking is not there. But that because of which the talking is there, how do you say it is not there? Right now, hearing is taking place. In deep sleep state, hearing does not take place. But how do you say that? That because of which the hearing takes place, consciousness is not there. Because you cannot see that consciousness, because of which seeing takes place. You cannot hear the consciousness because of which hearing takes place. You cannot think of consciousness because thinking takes place. That seeing, hearing, thinking, knowing cannot take place unless there is consciousness that makes all of these functions possible and that eliminates all these functions. And then the conclusion was अस्मिन् तु श्रुतिवाक्ये षष्ठ्यन्त शब्दवाच्य दृष्ट्यादे दृष्ट्यादेः अन्य दृष्टव्यापृतया अचैतन्य स्वभाव उक्त है. So what you normally call seeing, which involves a seer seen and seeing, or hearing, which involves a hearer, the heard and hearing, there is not that in deep sleep state that shows that all of this is unconscious. But that because of which seeing takes place, hearing takes place, knowing takes place, which cannot be objective by the eyes and ears and mind and intellect. So there is seeing, which is the objectified by the mind, etc. And there is seeing that cannot be objectified by that. So what is denied in deep sleep state is the objectifiable seeing, hearing, thinking, what we call the Vishesha Jnanam. But the Nirvishesha Jnanam, unqualified knowledge, which is very much there. And therefore, Drashtradi Shabda Nirdishta Sakshi Nitya Chaitanya Svava Siddha iti. And therefore, the witness Nitya Chaitanya Svava, the nature of the eternal consciousness, meaning consciousness is the nature of which Siddha, he is very much there. Iti Upasamharati. So, Chaitanya Swarupa is very much there. Now, continuing with the passage 92. उक्तमेवार्थम युक्त्यंतरेण उपपादयितुम शंकाम उद्भावयति. Uktamevaर्थम, that very same teaching that was imparted, was it? Sakshi Nitya Chaitanya Swava Siddhayati. That in deep sleep state also there is what you call a Sakshi or witness. What is the nature of witness? Nitya Chaitanya Swabhava, who is the nature of the eternal, unchanging consciousness. To Yuktyantarin Upapadaitum, Yuktis are provided here. And in support of that, Shrutis are provided. Yuktyantarena. Another Yukti is now intended to be provided. First, to contemplate how in the deep sleep state also the consciousness is very much there. I am very much there. Upapadaitum, to expound or delineate the existence of consciousness that is changeless in the deep sleep state and anywhere. To delineate that, Shankam Udbhavayati, a doubt is raised here. Is made to raise, So the disciple is made to raise a doubt. So he can see when doubt arises in his mind, then the clarity also arises in mind, the doubt is removed. Nanu, so in the passage 92, Nanu Vicharo Darshito Maya Sushupte Napashyami De. Nanu Vicharo Darshito Maya. I've already shown the Vichara, the absence of consciousness in deep sleep state. I've already shown. How? Sushupte na pashyamedi. That I do not see anything in the deep sleep state. In that manner, I already say that there is no consciousness in deep sleep state. The point is, how do you say I do not see consciousness in deep? I do not see anything in deep sleep state. How do you say that? So only when the fellow wakes up from the sleep, then he says that I did not know anything. When the disciple says, I said that I do not see anything in deep sleep state, That he sees as a waker. After waking up, he says, I did not know anything in deep sleep state. Pashyandeva tanna pashyati means I did not know anything in the deep sleep state. You knew the absence of the object of knowledge. Your very statement that I did not see anything in deep sleep state, or I did not know anything in deep sleep, itself reveals that there is the consciousness there. And so now in a different way, the teacher answers. Uttaram sangrahena aha na vyahatatvat iti. The reply is given sangrahena. In short, the reply is given na vyahatatva. That's the reply of the teacher. So let us read that. Na vyahatatva. So here vyahati means what? Self-contradiction. You are contradicting yourself when you say that you do not see anything deep sleep state. Yeah, that's called vyahati. So this is a reply given to the disciple. If you understand the reply, no further explanation is necessary. So reply is given here in short that you are contradicting yourself. But then naturally he doesn't see that. So Tika says, Vyahatatvam eva prashnapurvakam vivranote kathamityadina. So how the self-contradiction is involved in the statement of the disciple that I do not see anything in deep sleep state, how a self-contradiction is involved, Vivaranati wants to expound that prashna purukam as preceded by question. Katham ityadina. So the text says, Katham vyagataha. So vyahan, vyagataha. So katham vyagataha. How do you say there is contradiction in what I say? I do not see anything deep sleep state. A self-contradiction is involved in that very statement. How? Then the text says, Pashyatastava न पश्यामि इति व्याहतं वचनम् न पश्यामि इति वचनम् I do not see. Who says that? The one who sees says I do not see. The one who sees says I do not see. No, that is self-contradiction, isn't it? I am dumb. I can't speak. So the one who speaks, who says that I know I can't speak, that is called self-contradiction. Similarly, he sees in deep sleep and says, I do not see, meaning that you are contradicting yourself. Then further says, Nahi kadachita bhagavan sushupte maya chaitanyam anyadva kinchid drishtam. See, really speaking, this is an explanation of the Shruti statement that already quoted. What is it? Yadvai tanya pashyati, pashyanvai tanya pashyati. Already, this is already, told. Yadvai tanya pashyati, pashyanvai tanya pashyati. That he does not see anything deep sleep state, while seeing he does not see. How do you see he is seeing? Nahi drashtu drushte viparalobo vidyate, because the seeing of the seer never suffers a cessation. Avinashitvat, the seer suffers a cessation. There is no seer in deep sleep state. There is no seen in deep sleep state. But the seeing very much persists in deep sleep state is already stated. That consciousness persists. Now, that same statement you can say is now explained here. So, either it is yuktiyantara. So, one yukti was given that you cannot see yourself. That was one yukti given there. So, when you say, is it Chaitanya that does not see Chaitanya, Chaitanya does not see Chaitanya, Chaitanya does not, Chaitanya. So all this one kind of argument was given. Now, this statement that one sees, when one says, one does not see because the seeing never suffers a cessation. In that sense, the teacher said, Pashyatahata na pashyamedi vyahatam vasanam. Yadvai tanna pashyati pashyanvai. That when you say that I do not see anything, you are contradicting yourself because you cannot say I do not see anything unless you see. I don't hear anything. When you say I don't hear you? When you're hearing. And the object of hearing is not there. Hearing is very much there for me to say I don't hear. So that is what Nahi kadachit Bhagavan. So this is extended now. The Shishya still doesn't quite understand what the teacher means, how the contradiction is involved. Nahi kadachit Bhagavan sushupte maya chaitanyam anyadva kinchit drishtam he Bhagavan. I do not understand how I am contradicting myself because I repeat that sushupte in the deep sleep state, he Bhagavan. Nahi kadachit maya chaitanyam anyadva kinchit kadachit at no time in the deep sleep state maya by me chaitanyam anyadva kinchit drishtam the deep sleep at any time. Throughout the deep sleep state, I neither see anything that is conscious or unconscious. Two categories of entities are there, conscious and unconscious. In deep sleep state, neither do I experience anything that is conscious or unconscious. That's what I said. So the Tika says, Nahi kadachida iti punashishya prashnaha. So this sentence that we read, Nahi kadachid, is the statement of the Shishya. Then the text continues. Pashyan tarhi sushupte tvam yasmat drishtameva pratishedasi na drishtim. So this is our common experience and common conclusion that we do not see or know anything deep sleep state. So what does that statement mean? How knowing or consciousness is involved in that very statement that I am not conscious of anything in deep sleep state. So when I say I am not conscious of anything in deep sleep state, what am I saying? Pashyantari sushupte tvam. Then tvam sushupte pashyan. Hey disciple, and that in the deep sleep state also you are seeing, you are knowing. How do you say? Yasmat dustameva pratishedasi. You say that I do not see anything conscious or unconscious. So what you are saying? You are negating the object of seeing, conscious or unconscious. I do not see. The seen is negated. The seeing is not negated. I don't see anything. So anything, the object of seeing is negated by you. When you say, I don't see anything, you can say it only when you are seeing. So seeing is not negated by you. Yes, dushtameva pratishedasi. When you say, I do not see anything, dushtam, the object of seeing is what you are negating. No, dushtim, but seeing you are not negating. As we said, in the pitch dark, when I say I don't see anything, Then what am I negating? The object of seeing I'm negating, not seeing itself. Although I may feel when I say I don't see anything, that I am not seeing at all. What happens is when I do not see anything in the dark, I may conclude that I don't see at all. I'm not even seeing. The seer is not there, the seen is not there, but the seeing is very much there, even in pitch dark. And similar situation in deep sleep state also, the seer is not there, the seen is not there, but seeing, namely consciousness, is very much there. So when you say I do not see anything, understand that you're not negating seeing. So you're seeing when you say that I do not see anything. So say the Tika, Pashyam Starhe iti Guroho Uktehe. So Pashyam Starhe, when you say it, that is statement of Guru. Because otherwise Guru and Shishya statement is separated. Here they go on, and therefore, if it is not clear to us, then the Tikakara clarifies that. Pashyan drashta दृष्टिमान एव त्वं सुषुप्ते इत्यर्थः. So Pashyan tarhi sushupte tvam. That's a statement. What is Pashyan means drashta? Pashyan means you are the one who is seeing. Pashyan is the present participle. So Pashyan means one who is seeing. So you are the one who is seeing. It's not drashta, you are the seer. Means drashtiman, possessing the drashti. Tvam sushupte. So in deep sleep state, you are the one who is seeing, means you are a seer, meaning that you possess the seeing. Then Tika says, Yasmat ityadihi tata upapadana paro grantha spashtartha. This statement is further explained by the teacher beginning from Yasmat. So let us read that. So we already said Yasmat Dushtameva Pratishedasi the Drushtim, because you're only negating what the seen but not the seeing itself. Then the text continues Ya tava drishtihi tacchaitanyam iti maya uktam. So drishya is not chaitanyam. Drashta is not chaitanyam. But drishti is chaitanyam. Oh, there are two kinds of drishti. One is drishti or seeing by the eyes, other is drishti or seeing, which is what makes eyes able to see. So that because of which eyes see is one drishti. Seeing of the eyes is one drishti, and that because of which I see there is conscious another drishti, and that you are not negating. Yavad drishti tat chaitanyam iti maya uktam. I already said that your seeing itself is consciousness. Then Tika says, Sushupte maya kinchinna drushtam iti uthitasya paramarasha anupatya saushupta अनुभवस्य अवश्यम भावात् तदा करणोपसंहारात् आगंतुक अनुभव असंभवात् स्वरूप चैतन्यम अनागंतुकम कूटस्थ आत्मस्वरूपम सिद्धम इति उपसंहरते सुषुप्ते मया न किंचित दृष्टम. In deep sleep state, I did not know anything is a statement of whom? Utthhitasya Paramarshah. That's one who says that the one who is woken up from deep sleep says, I did not know anything. What happened here? I did not know. Who says that? One who is woken up from deep sleep. So when can he say, I did not know anything? Says that Paramarsha or that memory or the recollection would not have been there, thinking would not have been there. Saushupta Anubhavasya Avashyambhavat. Unless the experience of not seeing took place in deep sleep state, he could not have said, I did not see anything when after waking up. He could not have said, I did not see anything in deep sleep if that experience of not seeing had not taken place. You follow? He could not have said, I did not know anything after waking up. That could not have been said unless there was the experience of not seeing anything, not knowing anything. Unless that experience took place, he could not have recollected that. इसको अनुपत्ति because या स्मृति ही सा अनुभव पूर्विका. So they say this is memory. When I say that I did not know anything, it is memory, and memory must be preceded by an experience. So there was experience of not knowing anything in deep sleep state. Just as there is experience of not seeing anything in the pitch dark. Alright, so that experience was there. What was the experience? I did not know anything. But that experience also can be, how do you say that that is consciousness, changeless consciousness? At that time in deep sleep state, there was a consciousness like that I did not see anything. Okay, but then how do you say that that is a changeless consciousness that you're talking about? It says, tada karana upasamharat agantuk anubhava sambhavat. See, agantuk anubhava, an anubhava or experience that comes and goes, involves always the organs of perception. So right now you're listening to these words. There is agantuka because your organ of hearing is involved. And so what the organ of hearing hears keeps on changing and therefore the hearing also changes. Similarly, when you say in deep sleep state, I did not know anything, is it an ongoing experience or an experience that comes and goes? Experience that comes with sense organs and mind comes and goes because they are temporary. But experience that is there without the sense organs and mind cannot be coming and going. In deep sleep state, there is no sense organ because it is merged. There is no mind that also is merged, and still there is experience. So that experience could not have been created by sense organs and our mind. An experience created is an experience that is subject to coming and going. Like in waking state right now, the experience of seeing, hearing is created by sense organs and mind. So that experience can be as long as they are there. But I did not see anything. I did not know anything deep sleep state. Now, is there an experience created by eyes that I did not see or he did not hear? Eyes are not there, sense organs are not there, mind is not there, and still experience is there. So it must be an ongoing experience, not a created experience. Not a created experience, then it must be eternal. That is the nature of itself, consciousness. So in the deep sleep state, there is an experience of absence of everything. And that experience presupposes consciousness. Therefore, that in deep sleep state also, there is uncreated consciousness. Uncreated experience, therefore uncreated consciousness. So when you say, I did not experience anything, in fact, that is a statement of unqualified consciousness. Because we are accustomed to saying, I see or hear or experience something with reference to a created experience. So whenever we say I experience something, When do we use that expression? When that is a created experience, created by sense organs or the mind that I hear, I see, I think. When there is an experience without the sense organs and mind, what is that experience? I don't know anything. Which Vedanta says, I know the absence of everything. Means what? Absence of anything particular. In deep sleep state, there is an absence of, not absence as such, not non existence as such. There is non existence of particular things. Just because particular name in form is not there doesn't mean that Ashtibhadi Prem is not there. You follow? So, experience of Nama Rupa is the Agantuka or coming because Nama Rupa are there or not there. In waking in dream they are there, in deep sleep they are not there. Therefore, experience of Nama Rupa is always Agantuka. But there is also experience of Asti Bhadi Priyam. Because Nama Rupa cannot be experienced unless there is experience of Asti Bhadi Priyam. Just as a part cannot be experienced unless a clay is experienced. You may or may not make a note of that, but without experiencing clay, you cannot experience the part. And so without experiencing Asti Bhadi Priyam, you could not experience name and form. So experience of name and form is not there in deep sleep. This is called the qualified experience, qualified consciousness, qualified knowledge. But there is the experience of Asti Bhati Priyam, which is non-negatable. So you can negate even in deep sleep also what is negatable. In deep sleep also you cannot negate samadhi anywhere. You cannot negate what is non-negatable. You cannot negate the negator who is what? Asti Bhati Priyam. So there cannot be that Asti Bhati Priyam is not. Always there. So experience of Asti Bhati Priyam is not the agantuka or is incidental. Experience of Nama Rupa is incidental. Experience of Asti Bhadi Prem, which is what we call consciousness, is eternal. Tada Karna Upasamharat. At that time, the sense organs in the mind, which are responsible for creating the experience of qualified name and form, are not there. But unqualified Asti Bhadi Prem is everywhere out there, and you do not need the sense organs and mind to experience that because it is self-effulgent. It is your own self. Therefore, otherwise even that also could not have been. Swarupa Chaitanyam Anagantukam Kutasthatma Swarum Siddham. Your statement that I did not see anything deeply itself proves that consciousness, unqualified consciousness, Asti Bhadi Prem, is very much there for you to make that statement. Iti upasamhati. Yeah. So the text says, Yaya tvam vidyamanaya na kinchit dushtam iti pratishedase sadrushtihi tvachaitanyam. Tarhi sarvatra अव्यभिचारात् कूटस्थनित्यत्वं सिद्धं स्वतः एव न प्रमाण अपेक्षम. So yeah, vidyamanaya tvam kinchid dristamiti na kinchid pratishedasi. Tvam pratishedasi, you are negating, denying what? Na kinchid drishtam. I did not see anything. And so you are negating the seeing. Yeah, vidyamanaya. So Drishtya, the drishti or the samvida consciousness which is ever there, which illumines the absence of everything. Because we said I don't see anything. When you say I don't see anything, you mean you do not see anything in particular. So Vishesha Jnanam is only denied, the Jnanam itself is not denied. Because Vidyamanaya, it ever there. Sa Drushti Tvat Chaitanyam. That Drushti which is there, because of which you say I do not see anything. Like the eyes, because of which you say I don't see anything in dark, that eyes are very much there, and that is the self in that particular case. Tvat Chaitanyam, the Drushti, because of which you experience the absence of everything. That is the consciousness, that is yourself. Tari sarvatra avyabhicharat. So then there is avyabhichara. No exception, no negation. In waking also there is seeing of particular names and forms. In dream also seeing of particular name and form. Deep sleep, seeing of no particular name and form. But seeing is there. In waking, that is why it's nantah pragyam, na bahish pragyam, antah pragyam, bahish pragyam. I do not see anything within, do not see anything without. When you say, I do not see anything within, that withinness is not there. Seeing is there. Withoutness is not there. Seeing is there. Sarvatra avyabhichara. Therefore, in waking, dream, and deep sleep state also, there is no negation of this consciousness. Kudastha nityatvam siddham. Therefore, that you are nitya, eternal, what changelessly eternal you are. Swatah eva, you do not require any evidence to establish that there is the changeless consciousness, changeless eternal consciousness, not subject to which is avyabhichari, not anagantugam, not coming and going, is established. This statement itself establishes that you don't need any other proof. That you are changeless consciousness is established by your statement that in deep sleep state I did not see anything. So that changeless consciousness does not require any other evidence. You are the evidence for it to be there. So svat siddham svataheva. This is self-evident consciousness. Na pramana. It does not require an evidence. So everything in the universe requires evidence for proving its existence. Swami used to say that everything requires evidence for proving its existence. How do you say that this cloth is there? When it is illumined by the eyes. And so that's the eyes are the evidence to establish the existence of this orange cloth. How do you say Swamiji is talking? There is evidence of the organ of hearing which you require to establish the words or the sounds. What do you require to establish I am? Are you there? Yes. How do you say I am? I am. Do you hear yourself? No. Do you need to touch yourself? Let me think whether I am there or not. That I am is self-evident. This is a master stroke of Vedanta. Everybody is struggling with this. It's beyond word, the transcendent. But what is transcendent? If that so-called transcendental thing, it's just a big words are there. And then you really impress people. Transcendental, up and down and beyond and above and deep, etc., etc. It's deep within and beyond. And all of these words will apply to something other than yourself. Understand that. So imagining that consciousness is different from you, then it says deep inside and beyond and etc. These words may have some meaning. I don't want to dismiss that. But these words somehow convey the idea that I have to go deep inside to see myself. You are always seeing yourself. You are seeing. So what you need to do is drop something, not go within and without, etc. The qualified thing is to be let go. That's all. Unqualified can never be let go. So when we are given this idea that I have to go deep within myself, there's nothing wrong in tranquility of the mind. It's a wonderful thing. But consciousness is there only when I go deep within. Or conscious is there when I transcend everything. I mean, this Svata Siddham, it doesn't require any proof and evidence because you are. As simple as that. Just recognize that you are. That's all you are, nothing more. And let everything go. That is what is required. Not hold on to mind and then go within and beyond, etc. So, anyway, so Satayeva, this is important. That everything requires evidence for establishing existence. But what evidence do you require to establish that you are? I am. How do you know that? Because I shine. It is it is existence, self-revealing existence, or self-existing consciousness. That is the saving grace. The truth is yourself. Had it been different from you, people would go round and round. If what is transcendental and whatever is said there, in such serious and words, if it's different from you, you can go round and round. It's like a tantrum. So Acharya Shankaracharya says, the Turiyam, the fourth, if there is really fourth, not existing in waking, dream and deep sleep, if fourth is that different from waking, dream and deep sleep, you never experienced it, then it is inconsequential. If there is God that has no role to play in your life, what does it matter whether there is God or not? However it is, then I can praise Him. But then, if this truth is something that never, there's no role it plays, is not a part of your experience, and is not in your life at all, you would not even bother to know it. A desire to know also will not arise unless there is a general knowledge. Desire is always to know it in particular. Only when you hear this something called black hole, then you want to know what is this black hole. But they even knew 50 years ago what black, then the desire to black hole will never arise. So that universal, general, unqualified consciousness, you is always there. You don't have to become that. You don't have to achieve that. You don't have to attain that. That is what is meant by Svata Eva Siddham na Pramana Peksham. Doesn't require any evidence that I am, that consciousness, doesn't require any evidence. Then Tika says, Chaitanyasya Swatasiddhim Upapadayate Swatasiddhasya hi Pramadurite. All right. There is consciousness, is self-evident, self-shining, self-revealing, or self-existing, is again supported by reasoning, upapatti. So the text further says, Swatasiddhasya hi pramatuhu anyasya prameyasya parichittim prati pramana apeksha. Swatasiddhasya hi pramatuhu. So now the Atma is called Pramata here. Here, the self is called knower, Pramata. Although knower is also not the word that completely describes it, but there is, let us say, Pramata or knower is Satasiddha, is self-existing, self-revealing. The I is self-existing, self-revealing. Tat anyasya prameyasya parichittim prati pramanapeksha. The pramanapeksha, the need for evidence, is there for anything other than this knower. The knower is self-revealing the I. Anything other than that requires the evidence to establish its existence, as I said. Any object of sense or any object of mind which is different from the knower requires some evidence, some means of knowledge to establish its existence. So read the Tika. Hi shabdah lokanubhava prasiddhidyotanartha swatasiddhasya hi shabdah loka anubhav. This is an experience of everybody. What is the experience? That one does not require any evidence to establish one's own existence. Anything other than oneself alone requires evidence for it to be there, but one doesn't. Everybody knows this. I mean, meaning that had this not been experienced by us, then you could never arrive at it. So our common experience is taken as an illustration to logically see how this I am there, always there, and always self-evident. He shabdah lokanubhav prasiddhi dyotanartha. Everybody knows that I don't see anything in deep sleep. Everybody knows that I do not need proof for me to be there, because that I'm self-evident, that everybody knows. Then swatasiddha pramana nirapekshत्वेनैव siddha pramana pravrutte prag eva prakashamana iti yavad. So what is swatasiddha? The Tikakar explains what is self-existing. What is self-established? Siddha means established, existing. Swata Siddha, self-existing. You see, in this case of pot and clay, the pot is not Swata Siddha, meaning pot does not exist on its own. Pot exists because of clay. In this example, the clay can be called Swata Siddha. That clay exists because of itself, and pot exists because of clay. In rope snake example, the snake is because of rope, rope is because of rope. So this was Swata Siddha. What is Swata Siddha? Pramana nirapekshत्वेनैव siddha. That which exists without the need of any evidence, without the need of any means of knowledge, without the need of proof, without the need of evidence, which exists, is called Swata Siddha. Because otherwise, for anything to prove that it is there, it must have witness, it must have an evidence. But that which does not require a witness or evidence to prove that it is called Swata Siddha, self-existing. So why do you say that you don't require pramanam? You don't require means of knowledge? Pramana pravrutte prageva prakashamana iti. Before a means of knowledge comes into being operation, that thing is already existing. Meaning that before seeing happens, so seeing is the pramanam or mean the evidence of establishing an object or name and form. But that which exists before seeing, before hearing, I must exist. Are you there? Yes, I am there. How do you say? Do I need to touch myself, hear myself, see myself? Before I touch, I must be there. Before I see, I must be there. So seeing, hearing, touching, etc. are all the all the means which establish the existence of those respective objects. So existence of Shabda can be established when the hearing is there. Existence of Sparsha can be established when the touching is there, etc. But hearing requires I. I must be first there for hearing, touching, etc. take place. So pramana pravruti prageva prakashmana iti. The one that is evident even before the operation of pramana means of knowledge, he doesn't require means of knowledge to establish its presence. Then Tika continues, Evam vidasya pramatuhu yada anyada prameyam drishyam tasya parichittim surtim prade pramana apekshat na pramatrasvarupa parichittim prade pramana apekshat ityartha. So what the text said is, Swatasiddhasya hi pramatuhu. Pramata, the self who is already existing, already established. Anyasya, anything other than this subject. The subject is self-evident. Anything other than subject, that's the object. That object requires some means of knowledge to establish its existence. But subject must be there before you even see, hear. So, before any pramana is brought into operation, the subject must be there. So something or someone who is different from subject, which is called the object, so that requires the evidence for it to be there. So swata siddha pramatu anyasya, the subject who is self-existing or self-revealing. Anyasya, other than, it's called prameya. So pramata, prameya, and then prama. The knower, known, and knowing. So known is different from the knower. The knower has to be there for even the act of knowing to take place. So prameya means what is known. Parichiting, so tika say evam vidasya means what? Swata siddhasya. Pramatuhu, the pramata who is swata self-evident. Then anyasya prameyasya, the text says, what is that? Anyat prameyam drishyam. So what is prameyam? So dushyam, now we are familiar with the drashta and dushya. Here pramata and prameya. So what is dushyam? That is the object of drashti. What is prameyam? The object of prama. Prama is knowledge. So knower, known and knowing. So evam vidasya pramatuhu yadanyat prameyam means drishyam. As you call prameya. Prameya means what? That which is measured, which is known. Or dushya, which is seen. So prameyasya parichittim prati. What is parichittim? Sfurtim prati. For an object such as that is different from us, such as a part, for the part to shine or reveal itself, pramanapeksha, the part requires the organ of seeing for revealing itself. The organ of seeing requires the mind to reveal itself. The mind requires the consciousness to reveal itself. All of these have the need of something to reveal them. All of that can take place provided the I is there. In self shining and self existing must be there. Then that provides existence and shining to everything. So tasya means what? Prameyasya, drishyasya, parichitim, smurtim prati, pramanapeksha. Pramanapeksha, the need for pramanam, the evidence or means of knowledge is there only for someone that is different from the knower. Na pramatu swarupa parichittim prati. But you do not require pramanam to establish the pramata. Pramanam can establish the prameya. Pramanam cannot establish the pramata. Just as the telescope, you can see a distant object, you cannot see the eyes. What is eyes? Pramata. What is telescope? Pramanam. What is the object that you see? Prameya. You follow? In the example of the telescope, the eyes are the pramata. Telescope is pramanam. And what you see in distant objects such as stars, etc., prameya. So that prameya stars require telescope, let's say, to establish that they are there. But eyes do not require telescope for it to establish because eyes have to be there to begin with for the telescope and other things to come into play. So therefore, see the language is such, then the text continues. Yato anya nitya parichitihi apekshyate anyasya aparichittirupasya परिच्छेदाय साहे नित्या एव कूटस्था स्वयं ज्योतिस्वभावा. So there is one anitya parichatti and then nitya parichatti. Anitya drushti, nitya drushti. Parichatti means furti, revealing. One is the incidental revealing, thus as the words are revealed, these sounds are revealed and these forms are revealed. But that which reveals all of that is always self-revealing, eternal revealing. So, one pramescha parichatti, the revealing of the object of knowledge is one yadu anya nitya parichatti. But then there is an eternal revealing, because with the temporary revealing takes place. The incidental revealing of the sound, etc., takes place because the eternal revealing. Anya nitya parichiti. Here point means consciousness. That nitya parichiti, the eternal consciousness, apekshade anyasya aparichiti rupasya parichedaya. You require eternal knowledge, eternal consciousness to reveal what is not eternal, what is incidental. Sai nityaiva kutastha swayam jyoti svabhava. That parichiti, that drishti, that consciousness is nitya, eternally there because uncreated, therefore eternally there, uncreated, therefore changeless, kutastha, uncreated, therefore self-shining, swayam jyoti svabhava. So, therefore, your statement that I don't see anything itself proves what? Eternal seeing. Because which temporary seeing takes place, incidental seeing takes place, that incidental thing presupposes non-incidental. Mithya presupposes satyam. Adhyaro presupposes adhishtanam. Anitya presupposes nitya. Non-self-revealing presupposes self-revealing. Non-self-existing presupposes self-existing. So look at the Tika. See, explaining that passage that we just translated. What is the passage? Ya tu anya nitya parichiti apekshade anyasya aparichitti rupasya. So the anvaya is given. The Tikakara is a little bit of, what shall I say, not well organized sentence. And so the Tikakara organizes the sentence. For people who are well versed in language, the organization doesn't matter much to them. But for us who are now with language and with concept, everywhere the problems are there, and therefore the proper anvaya is necessary. So says Tika, Yato anyasya aparichitya rupasya. Now look at the passage. Anyasya aparichitya rupasya. Did you find that? Right, So in this Tika, Anyasya aparichitya rupasya. This part is coming from the text. Okay? Okay, so what does it mean? Achetanasya. What is aparichitya means? Achetan. Aparichitya. Parichitya means furti. Shining, revealing. So that which is other than self-revealing, which is what? Achetanam, unconscious. Parichitya is revealing meaning consciousness. That is different from consciousness is unconscious. So achetanasya. Then Tika says, Parichedaya. Do you find that word in the text? Anyasya aparichita rupa parichedaya. What is parichedaya? It says avabhasanaya. So parichedaya means avabhasa, for revealing. What is achetanam or unconscious requires the consciousness to reveal that. So unconscious is incidental that requires the eternal consciousness to reveal. Then further, Nitya. So you find the word Nitya there? Sahi Nitya eva. So what is Nitya? Swata Siddha cha. Nitya means eternal. Eternal means what? Self-existing can only be eternal. See, that which exists because of something else, like a pot, cannot be eternal. What can be eternal? That which exists not because of something else, because of its own self. Then it is of the nature of existence. Therefore, Nitya means what? Swata Siddha cha. Then Anya Parichittehe. Do you find that? Ya to Anya Nitya Parichittehe. Nitya came there. And Anya Parichittehe. What does it mean? Samveda. Parichitti. Samvid means consciousness. So that which is other than the changing conscious, changing knowledge, which is the eternal changeless knowledge called samvit or knowledge. Apekshade. Again, that comes from the text. Nitya parichitti apekshade. Sahi kutastha eva. Again, that is from the text. Sahi kutastha. Because apekshade is there and sahi kutastha is there. So the Tikaka is connecting them in a proper prose order so we can understand. So that parichitti or the consciousness that you require for knowing the unconscious, the pramada that you require for revealing the prameya, the drashta, the subject that you require for knowing the object. Object is what? Unconscious, changing. And for that, for revealing that, you require the changeless, the conscious subject. Sahi kutasthaeva, so that is changeless. Yataha nitya swayam jyotisvabhava iti yojana. Because is nitya swayam jyotisvabhava iti yojana. In short, this sentence means ya to anyasya aparichit anya. One is parichit rupam. One is parichit means consciousness here. So one of the nature of consciousness. What is other than consciousness? The unconscious. So what is achetanam? Call it chetanam or parichitti or samvid or consciousness. Other than is what? Achetanam, aparichita rupam. Paricheda for knowing what is unconscious, what cannot reveal itself. So there are two entities in this universe. One is self-revealing, everything else is non-self-revealing. One is self-existing, everything else is non-self-existing. One is self-sufficient, everything else is non-self-sufficient. That's all, two categories. So pramata, prameya. Drashta, drushya. Subject, object. And so it was said here that the object is non-internal, not self-shining, requires conscious reveal it. The other than object, which is subject, which is self-shining, which therefore eternal consciousness. Sa kutasthaeva nitya swayam jyoti svabhava is eternal and self-shining, self-revealing iti yojana. So two entities or two parichittis are said. One parichitti, one revealing, one shining is what? Temporary, the shining of a pot, pan, etc., the name and form. Other is shining of asti bhadi priyam. So two kinds of shining is involved, two kinds of knowledge is involved. One is what we call the eternal, changeless knowledge, asti bhadi priyam, which is self. Other is changing, non-eternal knowledge, that of the names and forms. So two entities, adhisthanam, adhyaropa. Satya and mithya. Here called subject and object. In that, so that is simple as that. Nothing very complicated here. The words may appear very complicated. Concept is very simple. There is a self-shining, self-existing, self-revealing entity. Everything else is non-self shining, non-self revealing, non-self existing. But that's what we know. That's what we experience. So we think that is a reality. Says, no, that's not the reality. That because of which you know is reality. So our attention is now shifted or sought to be shifted from what is experienced to that because of which experience takes place. Now, yet vyacha anabhyuditam yena vag abhyudyate. That which cannot be revealed by the speech, but that because which the speech reveals. That which cannot seen by the eyes, that because the eyes see. Which cannot be heard by the ears, that because the ears hear. What is heard and hearing, seen and seeing. We need not just hear. Seen and seeing, heard, hearing. That seeing, hearing is the eternal consciousness which illumines things that are heard and seen. So two entities are there. That is called Atma. Temporary here called subject. So Pramada also is not the, but one word you have to use to distinguish from Prameya. To distinguish Chaitanya from Achetana, you said Pramada. Ultimately, Pramada also resolves into only simple consciousness. Oh. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmedi